Assalamu alaikum viewers, myself Farooq Gilani. Today we are in the class 11th. It is chapter 3rd of your syllabus, System of Representational Democracy. In previous chapter we discussed the first past the post system, in which we learnt that the whole country is divided into smaller constituencies in which the people came in contact with their candidates, with their representatives. And another system of voting in India is known as PR system. It is not known in India also, it is known throughout world, PR system of voting. Under PR system of voting, first of all we should know what the PR system of voting is. PR system of voting directly refers to the system in which parties get votes in accordance of their vote share. In multi-member, if there is a multi-party system, in the multi-party system the parties contest elections and they get their voting share, or when number of seats are to be filled up and when number of votes are to be polled, there is a certain target, a minimum target is fixed there, where the candidates have to obtain that target. After that they are declared as winners. This PR system of election can be divided into two categories. In the PR system of elections, the whole country is considered as one constituency. When one constituency, and after that the voters cast their vote, but the vote share goes directly to the party, and parties thereby nominate their candidates in proportion to their vote share. Likewise, another system is known as multi-member constituencies. In multi-member constituencies, parties are providing the list of their candidates. The list of the candidates goes to the people, and people elect these candidates in accordance of their preference, in accordance of their proportions. After that, the first members placed in the list are getting elected. Likewise, there we are having another system, what we know, single transferable vote system, which is being practiced in India for the post of president, for the post of vice president, for electing the members of Rajya Sabha. In this system, what happens? A formula is being formulated for declaring a candidate winner. That is known as the number of votes, what we call the quota. The quota should be equal to number of votes polled divided by number of seats to be filled plus 1 plus whole 1. According to this formula, the candidates who are securing 50% plus 1 votes are declared, or the candidates who are securing 50 plus 1 vote, those are being declared as the winners. Another form of election is known as functional representation. The functional representation, where the globe, where having different people are related with the different occupations, with the different professions. Some seats are being given to them in accordance of their numerical strength, in order to represent those people in the state legislative assembly, or in the parliament, or in the Rajya Sabha. This system is known as functional representation. Likewise, we are having another system which is known as communal representation. By communal representation, we mean that it was introduced by the Britishers in the year 1909, when they have reserved some seats for the Muslims. After that, this system is existing in India also, whereby we are giving some special seats, some reservations to the STs, to the SCs, likewise to give them representation in the parliament, as well as in the legislative assemblies, as well as in the other houses of the parliament. So this is what we mean proportional representation system. Now, whether it is the first past the post system or it is the proportional representation system, it is being carried out by the Election Commission of India. The Election Commission of India aims at for free and fair elections. For free and fair elections, the Commission has decided that all the voters who are attaining the age of 18 years or more are eligible for casting their vote to their candidates. For this, we are having a system what we call universal adult franchise. Under universal adult franchise, every citizen has the right to become the voter when he has crossed the age of 18 years or more. Likewise, this election commission has provided the provided the space for the people to contest the elections. For attaining the certain limits of the age, we are eligible for contesting the elections of the panches, sarpanches in the local bodies. Likewise, we can become the MLAs, we can become the member of parliament, we can become the chief ministers, prime ministers, presidents, vice presidents. There is a certain age limits are fixed for every candidate, for every post, that this age should be, one person should cross this age. After that, he is eligible for contesting the election of member of legislative assembly, or he can become the member of parliament. Likewise, for free and fair elections, we are having an independent constitutional body, what we call Election Commission of India. The Election Commission of India, it has the political parties has to adhere the moral code of conduct which is fixed by this Election Commission of India. So this Election Commission of India is holding all the elections within the India, or in this commission. We should, first of all, we should know that when this commission was constituted. After we have prepared our constitution, when it was enforced, when it was enacted, when it came into being from 26th of January 1950, thereby we are having an autonomous election commission, what we know as Election Commission of India. This Election Commission of India was devised as a single member commission, in which only one chief election commissioner was there. It remained there up to 1989. After 1989, this commission has been revised by the Janata Dal government. It has been now renamed as, and we are having 3 members in it, one chief election commissioner and other 2 commissioners are in it, and they are being appointed by the President of India for a period of 5 years or up to the age of 65 years. Whatsoever is earlier, whether 5 years or 65 years, anybody attaining the age of 65 years, he remains there as the Election Commission of India. These members of the commission can be removed if a resolution is passed by either house of the parliament with its 2/3 majority, giving proven examples of that there is some kind of misbehavior, or there is the candidate in the position is incapable of doing the things, so she can be removed, or if he dies or he resignates from his post, from his office, he can get removal. Likewise, this commission has enjoying several functions and several powers. It is having several functions as well as it is enjoying several powers. Its powers are defined in the articles of within the Indian Constitution under Article 324 and Article 328. From Article 324 to 328, we are having all the related clauses which are about the commission, which are about the Election Commission of India. The functions of the Election Commission of India are as it prepares the electoral rolls for the parliaments as well as the legislative assemblies, and it also evaluates the things, what kind of ages, what kind of requirements, what kind of qualifications are required for the electoral, and it describes all the qualifications and all the testimonies which are required for becoming an electoral roll. It decides that. Likewise, it has the power to superintend and controls the elections of the president, elections of the vice president, elections of the members of legislative assembly, elections of the members of parliament. It supervises all the elections throughout India, whatsoever election is being held, whether these are the annual, whether these are the periodical elections, whether these are the by-elections, all kinds of elections are being held under their observation. Likewise, it advises the presidents and governors for the disqualification incurred during the unions or legislative assemblies, whatsoever disputes arise within the elections, within the period of when there are the process of elections is going on, it tries to resolve all those disputes. It also appoints the electoral officers inquiring disputes and election arrangements. All the arrangements all the requirements which when the process of election is going on, all these arrangements are seen or being observed or being supervised by this Election Commission of India. Likewise, it determines the moral code of conduct and observes time of election whenever we need. When there is the time of elections, all the moral code of conducts are introduced, or the moral code of conducts are prepared by the commission, that none of the parties can proclaim any kind of promises to the people by which we can feel that there has been arising on the corruption or the bribery within the system. Likewise, it notifies the dates and schedules, nomination dates, security dates, dates of withdrawals. It prepares all the lists on whatever is needed for now when the candidates have to file their nominations, when the candidates will get scrutinized, when the candidates will are able to withdraw their nomination papers, when there will be the date of election, when there will be the date of counting, when there will be the declaration of results. All lies in the hands of the Election Commission of India. It allows the symbols to the parties, although the national parties as well as the regional parties, they are having some fixed symbols, but all those parties which are unregistered parties, which are unrecognized parties, they are having option for different kinds of symbols. Those symbols are allotted by this Election Commission of India. Likewise, it recognizes the parties, which party is the national party and which party is the regional party, and which party is the recognized party and which party is the non-recognized party. Likewise, this process necessary stop for the conduct of the elections. When there is a time of elections, we know that we need all kind of manual stop from different departments. So the commission manages its whole stop out of the lot within the state, within the union territory, within the center, and send them to the respective polling booths where they conduct the elections. Likewise, it prepares the orders for the central broadcast and telecasts under its observation, under its supervision. Every broadcast is being made, every telecast is being made. So with this, we can say that this Election Commission of India is an autonomous body which is not controlled by anybody, but it has certain powers, it has certain functions to do. So with these words, we would like to conclude this chapter. This was chapter 3rd of class 11th, and we will come with another class in the next video. Thank you. Have a nice day.